Here in the Forge, we have seen hundreds of smiths create some of the most feared edged weapons in history. Now, in honor of history's mini-series event Coliseum, we have decided to transform our Forge into a Roman gladiators arena. We are doing a competition series unlike anything you've ever seen. This is Gladiators of the Forge. Currently, we've seen 6 battles, and our current gladiator take down 4 formidable opponents. So, Jesse, that makes you a 4-time Gladiator of the Forge, and you have $20,000 in your pocket.
I've won 4 battles in a row now. I've come to prove something, and I want to keep winning.
Tonight, Jesse will face his toughest competition yet. Will he have what it takes to earn number 5 and that $10,000 bonus? The Gladiators of the Forge competition continues now.
My name is Jesse Hu. I'm 19 years old, and I come from the University of Michigan. I'm the 4-time reigning Gladiator of the Forge, and I'm here to hopefully get my 5th title. If I win my 5th title, it comes with an extra $10,000 on top of the $5,000, which means it'll be worth 3 of my previous battles. I've done it before. There's nothing stopping me from doing it again.
I'm John Lockey. I'm 47 years old. I'm from Laurel, Montana. I've been forging for 20+ years. I don't know if I'm more nervous going against somebody that has won 4 in a row, but it is a bit of a shock, for sure. This is someone who has done this. He's a proven winner. And now, to be the best, you have to beat the best. My gladiator name would be Caledonian. My family's Scottish, and so that was the one part of the world that the Romans didn't conquer. They built a wall to stay away.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the Forge. This is the 7th battle in our Gladiators of the Forge competition. Now, it will consist of 8 straight hours of head-to-head competition that is sudden death. Now, gentlemen, in those 8 hours, you'll be asked to build a weapon from our wall of gladiator weapons here, all of which have been featured in history's mini-series event, Coliseum. Now, guys, at the end of that 8 hours, I will ask that you stop your work and present your blades to our panel of expert judges who will put your blades through a series of tests. Today, it will ultimately end with one of you earning the title of Gladiator of the Forge and getting a check for $5,000. Now, Jesse, right now, you have 4 wins under your belt. You've got $20,000 in your pocket. You're fighting for the $5 grand. But being that this is your 5th competition, if you win, you will also receive that bonus of $10,000. John, you are the challenger. If you win today, you will get your first Gladiator of the Forge title, $5,000, and an opportunity to move forward into the future rounds of this competition. You guys ready to get into it?
Let's go.
Yep.
All right, gentlemen, in order to find out what blade you will be building and the technique you will both use to build that blade, we're gonna flip this authentic Roman coin here. John, as a challenger, I'll give you the option, heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
Tails never fails. Today it did. Landed on heads. Jesse, you get first pick. Do you want to pick the weapon or do you want to pick the forge welding technique?
I want the weapon.
All right, what are you thinking?
For all of my previous competitions, one of the winning factors was me picking a rather complicated looking blade and having my opponent get scared by it a little. So I want to pick a blade that looks scary to the both of us. I'm thinking the pair of Pugio daggers.
Holy cow, what a bold choice.
The Pugio was a popular sidearm in 2nd and 3rd century Rome. Gladiators were known to battle with 2 Pugio, one in each hand. These close-quarter combat weapons featured a wide, leaf-shaped blade to inflict deep, lethal wounds upon an enemy, both on the battlefield and inside the walls of the Colosseum. However, the Pugio is most well known as the weapon used to murder Julius Caesar.
All right, gentlemen, you need to build a pair of matching Pugio daggers. Now, gentlemen, when you turn your blades in, make sure they meet these following parameters. Each of your daggers need to have a blade length that measures between 7.5 and 9.5 inches. You need to have 2 discs in each of your handles. And as you can see here, gentlemen, these are leaf-shaped blades with double edge. John, you've got a choice to make. What forge welding technique do you want to use to build your daggers?
It is a competition, so I went back to what I know. If Jesse's not prepared for using scrap techniques, it could be a detriment to him. I'm not trying to set him up for failure, but in a competition, you try to do the best you can and come out ahead.
Let's go with canister, and we're gonna have to use some bicycle chain in it.
bicycle chain in canister Damascus. All right, very, very tall order on the plate today. Now, gentlemen, keep in mind that 5.5 hours into this competition, your forges will be turned off. So make sure that you have them quenched and hardened before that time. Guys, this is going to be one for the books. You have 8 hours to complete your Pugio daggers, so good luck. Stay sharp. Your time starts now. Guys, this has got to be the most difficult blade selection and a very difficult forge welding technique.
You've got a bolster-style guard. You've got 2 discs. It's a lot going on there.
And there's 2 of them. Now, these guys have a long day ahead of them.
Because this is my 5th battle, I'm definitely a little bit tired. I've hit that bottom plateau in terms of energy, and the only way I can go is up.
At 19 years old, you got a little bit extra stamina, a little bit more in the tank.
There's nothing different about this battle compared to my earlier ones. It's the same order of operations. I don't plan on changing it. It worked for me in the past, so it has to work for me now. I want to win this one a lot. I used to forge out chef's knives at home in batches of 2 or 3, so this is a pretty comfortable zone for me.
It would be hard enough to build one of these in 8 hours, so now we have to build 2, and that is going to be a challenge. So what I'm doing is taking the canoe, laying down some of the powdered steel, then filling in with roller chain.
If you have a canoe canister, you can see that you're filling those voids. When you're in the tall boy and you're filling it from the top, you can't necessarily see what's going on down in the bottom of that.
I didn't know before I got here that I'm facing the Ken Jennings of Forged in Fire. It's like, wow, this kid's pretty sharp. This is gonna be a dandy.
I think my canister is up to temperature now. I think it's the perfect time to bring them over to the squaring dies and start setting those welds.
Jesse is bringing out screaming hot cans.
That's good. That's what you want.
I'm not going too aggressively on the press. I know that if I press too hard, I can rip the canister and just destroy my entire billet.
Jesse's doing good. He's taking small bites. He flipped it.
I thought I would have to deal with at least some issues. However, it looks pretty much perfect to me.
I'm looking for the right color, and once I have the billet up to temperature, I go over to the press, run it through the squaring dies.
Of course, the biggest concern is always going to be the weld quality, make sure the welds are good. I think the welds are all set, and they should be fine.
So the idea that I've got is that I'm going to forge the 2 knives out of 1 billet, and I'm going to stretch out the tang in the middle, and then I'll cut those in 2.
John's actually impressing me quite a bit already.
He's working like somebody who's been here before.
I'm feeling pretty good right now where we're at. It is kind of an adventure, and it's amazing how fast the clock ticks.
Bladesmiths, you guys are a quarter of the way through this battle. You have 6 hours left.
2. You had to pick 2. You couldn't just pick 1. No, pick 2.
The more the merrier. The Pugio daggers are very, very leaf-shaped. I made the Zephos, and the Zephos is just a really long Pugio dagger. So I definitely have experience making the leaf-shaped blade.
So how important is symmetry of these blades as you're going into testing?
It's quite important because it affects your accuracy, it affects how you're going to be moving and cutting with the blade.
Right now, I have them all forged to shape, fit to dimension. Just want to get them ready for heat treat now.
Guys, would you say that one of these smiths is ahead of the other?
Oh, really?
No,
I think they're
I'd
pretty
say,
much neck and neck.
Yeah, I'd say they're right on top of one another.
My thought process is to make these Pugio daggers as exact to each other as I possibly can. So I'm clamping the tangs together, and then I'm grinding them at the same time.
John's making a point of stacking his blades up to make sure he's got the same dimensions on both of them.
Smart move.
There we go. Got them ground to shape that I think I like, and I'm just going to thermal cycle them a couple times before I heat treat.
Bladesmiths, we are officially halfway through. You have 4 hours remaining.
It's time for Le Quench. Canister Damascus is a much more non-uniform material. I definitely think it's more liable to cracking during the quench, so I decided to do 1 at a time.
Oh, we got a quench.
The temperature of my first blade looked perfect. Now it's time to put blade 2 in the fire.
All right, Jesse's got 2 blades quenched.
It went perfectly. There were no warps in either blade.
Okay, I'll take it.
It's time to grind these blades to final dimension. I slap on a fresh 36 grit and just start going ham.
So after I've got them ground, now it's time to heat treat.
All right, guys, we got 4 quenched blades now. John just got in the oil.
Out of the oil, it looks good. I think I've got what I want.
That's going to work.
And then I go to the grinder.
That's not great.
The second blade, I notice a delamp on the edge. I am concerned that another could show up while I grind, but I think I've still got enough width, and so now I'm just gonna work that out.
I'm hoping I don't snatch defeat from the jaws of victory right now. So I just want to make sure I'm doing the best I possibly can.
Bladesmiths, you have 2 hours left to finish your blades. So these guys managed to forge their blades out, get them quenched, but it's still a very long road ahead of them. These are some of the more difficult handles I've seen built in the forge, and there's 2 of them.
I'm deciding to put the discs in first because wood is a lot easier to shape. This is a fairly tedious process. I don't want to create garbage. I want to make sure what I create is as good as it can be. I know that during Battle 3, when Kurt had a gap in his guard, the judges were complaining that it was scratching their hands, and that's pretty much how he got eliminated.
Well, Kurt, and your handle with sharp corners on the inside was less refined than your opponent, and that's what we base our decision on.
I want to learn from my past experiences. However, I'm facing a clock. I don't have time to make sure that these fits are perfect, but I'm going to do my best to make them look pretty much identical.
I now have to assemble these 2 handles. It is going to be a big challenge all the way around. I want to use my Carta for the bulk of the handle. It's tougher material.
Split it.
Oh, looks like John just broke some handle material.
Just crack wide open.
I don't feel that I wasted too much time, so time to adjust again. I find an epoxied block with some wood in it,
Oh, man.
and it breaks. I go back into the pantry and find a block of maple.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
The 3rd block cracks,
come on, man.
and I start second-guessing about everything that I have done.
This is where some of our smiths tend to get frustrated.
It really is a race against the clock and myself. If I let it spiral me out of control, I could lose the competition easily.
We're down to the final hour of our 7th Gladiator of the Forge battle, and John has now broken 3 different pieces of handle material. He's in trouble. He needs to get this handle on really fast.
I know I have to find a handle because the clock marches on, but I've got to find a chunkier piece. So I'm going with another maple.
There we go. Woo. It's gonna give me a heart attack.
Yep.
Everything seems to be just right, but I glance and I'm seeing I've used up better than an hour, so I know I've got to keep moving on.
Everything is glued pretty much together as best as I can, but there's still a few things that I need to do in this round, include finish shaping the handle and then sharpening it.
God, this is the 5th competition where we've gotten to watch Jesse work in the forge. Each one had their own difficulties assigned with them.
And Jesse's risen to the occasion every single time.
If Jesse doesn't win these tests, that's $15,000 out of his pocket.
Ouch.
I have to sharpen 2 double-edged daggers. I leave myself a lot of time to sharpen these blades because I don't want to run out of time and have one edge unsharpened. After forging for 40 hours, I'm definitely feeling it a little bit. I'll be energized for the next competition, but it'll just be adrenaline. I'm feeling good about the blades. I want to prove that even with only 3 years of experience, I can defeat someone with 20 years of experience. Nice.
Bladesmiths, you're down to the last 30 minutes of this contest.
It's a very complex handle. I know that I have a lot of moving parts in this. I know I'm going to have to make sure everything fits properly with it.
John's got something completely different going on, trying to inlay the disc into a through-tang handle construction.
What John's doing is a great idea, but it's very, very time-consuming.
It's not an easy process, but I do get them inset some. After I get the pommel glued on, then it's to the grinder. It looks like a potato on a stick. It doesn't look great, and I need to get this shaped into something that is functional.
What John's got going on his handle, it kind of almost looks like a dog chew bone.
I still need to sharpen the blade. I get it etched. I'm racing the clock right now, and I don't have time to make mistakes today.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, turn off your machines, put down your tools. This battle is over.
I am happy with what I've done. It's a finished set. The handle meets the criteria. I do look over at Jesse's anvil and see a very nice set, but I think the blades will hold up and test pretty well.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our strength test. The armor, stab, and slash. Jesse, you're up first. You ready to go?
I'm ready to go.
I know you love going first.
Yep.
Let's do it, man.
This strength test is probably the hardest one that I've experienced so far, and there's some extra money on the line. It's steel on steel. You'd have to be a magician to make a blade that can go through this and keep the same edge.
All right, Jesse, you survived. Good job. Your blades look great. I like the symmetry on these. I mean, they look like a matched pair. Everything's tight, everything's smooth. Your edges are still good. You do have a few flat spots, but there's not enough there where I can catch a nail on it. The biggest issue I have is the handles. They have no grip to them whatsoever. Enough so one of the chops, I actually caught a knuckle, because the knuckle slipped up. Some contouring would have made it a lot easier to hold on to them. But otherwise, great job.
Thank you.
It's always fun being the second guy, right,
Sure,
John?
why not?
You ready to go?
Absolutely.
All right, let's do it.
If there's ever anybody that's going to break a new toy, it's Jay Nielsen. There's always a possibility of something failing. I think it's all glued together properly, but we're about to find out. If there's ever anybody that's going to break a new toy, it's Jay Nielsen. I think it's all glued together properly, but we're about to find out.
All right, John, you survived. Gotta be happy about that. You got some glinting on the edges, nothing I'm really catching on. The biggest problem I have, the contouring you have on there is basically the exact opposite of what I said about Jesse's. They're not sliding anywhere, but they're not comfortable at all. But overall, they held together and nothing came loose. Edges survived. Good job.
Gladiators of the Forge. This is the sharpness test, the banner slice. Jesse, you're first. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. All right, Jesse, let's talk about your matching Pujo daggers here. That's a beautiful match set. They're quite identical, very close to that. Now your edge is cut nicely. And overall, your weapon, you will cut. John, your turn, so you ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. All right, John, let's talk about your Pujo daggers here. Your edges are sharp. It's just that it's got a grind here that's not razor sharp. So when cutting with this, there are some areas in this where it just got snagged with the blade, and it does rip a little bit. But overall, sir, your Pujo daggers, you will cut.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, after 8 hours of furious battle where you guys built your Pujo daggers out of bicycle chain canister Damascus, it is coming down to a final decision. Only one of you can come out of here on top with the title of Gladiator of the Forge. Jesse, if you win, that will be your 5th win, and you will have $35,000 in your pocket. Now, John, if you win, you'll stop his winning streak, get your first Gladiator of the Forge title, a check for $5,000, and the opportunity to go forward into the next battle. Our judges have discussed your blades, and they made a final decision. Today's Gladiator of the Forge is... Jesse, you have done it again. That is 5 total wins. John, you brought us a good pair of blades, but unfortunately, they didn't come out on top, and Jay's going to tell you why.
John, you did a great job out there. You should definitely be proud of yourself. We sure as heck enjoyed watching you work. But at the end of the day, the inner grinds on your Pugio daggers weren't as sharp as your competitors, as we saw during the sharpness test. And you had a great idea for the handle, but it kind of went south, so that's why we're sending you home.
John, there's no question you're talented. I know you had your competitor here worried for a little bit. Unfortunately, you didn't come out on top today. At this point, I'm going to have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
I understand. It's been a great challenge. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There's no sour grapes at all. Jesse's a great smith, and he's a sharp young man. This is just one more learning experience. Take your education and move to the next thing. There's so many things that were used in the gladiator rink. You're gonna have to be a jack of all trades, really, to get any of them done. It's gonna be a tough challenge for anybody coming up.
Jesse, you are a 5-time champion. You got another check for $5 grand and a bonus of $10,000. Congratulations. So right now, I gotta ask again, do you have enough energy to go back in the forge and fight out another battle?
Put me in, coach.
I love it. All right, man. Congratulations again on your 5th win and the $15,000. We will see you on the forge floor for the next battle. Well done.
Thank you. I've faced people pretty much every round who've had more experience than me. Having won 5 in a row, I've proven to myself that I can overcome pretty much any level of adversity in the forge. I have 5 titles. I'm not ready to give up this seat anytime soon.
My name is Matt Brando. I'm from Jacksonville, North Carolina, 36 years old. I've been bladesmithing for 3 years. What got me into smithing was my 8-year-old son. He had watched an episode of Forged in Fire and got excited, and everything that we do in the shop, we do together. I would compare this as a battle to the death, because if I stop Jesse, there it is. I killed his winning streak. Jesse's already got a high sum of money from winning. I'm ready to take the rest.
We are about to kick off our 8th Gladiator of the Forge competition with our 5-time winner, Jesse, and our competitor, Matt, trying to stop that reign of terror. Now, Jesse, you're already at 35 grand. If you win through the next 3 battles, you will have a total of $50,000 earned in this competition. Now, Matt, if you win, you'll get your first $5,000, and we'll ask you if you want to move forward in the next battle. Now, gentlemen, without further ado, let's get into it. In order to find out what blade from our wall of gladiator weapons here you're going to be building, as well as the forge welding technique, we're going to flip a coin. Matt, as the challenger, you get the option as to heads or tails. What do you want to pick?
Heads.
Heads it is. Unfortunately, it landed on tails. That means, Jesse, you get the first choice, whether you want the weapon or the forge welding technique. What are you picking today?
I want to pick the forge welding technique.
Interesting. All right, what are you thinking?
My plan is basically ultimate chicken. I want to make it super, super hard for my opponent. Having gone through 5 battles and 5 different forging techniques, I'm not really scared of any of them anymore. I'm thinking I want to make it super, super hard for my opponents. Having gone through 5 battles and 5 different forging techniques, I'm not really scared of any of them anymore. I'm thinking ball bearing canister with a peeled canister.
Oh, bold. Very risky move. All right. Now, Matt, you lost the coin toss. You get second choice. You have a choice of a few weapons here on the wall of gladiator blades. What are you thinking?
I've done fishhook canister Damascus. I've done chain canister Damascus. I've never had anything to do with ball bearings. Honestly, I don't even know what type of metal that it is without doing research. So I look at the wall, and I think we'll keep it within my wheelhouse. Gladius.
The Roman gladius is one of the most well-known weapons of the Roman Empire. Tracing its origin back to the 2nd century BC, this weapon features a lightweight, double-edged blade designed for easier, more deadly strikes than other heavier blades of the era, which made it the sword of choice for both Roman soldiers and gladiators. This iconic weapon was featured on the very first season of Forged in Fire, where both smiths went above and beyond with their Damascus blades, but struggled to perfect the intricate handle construction.
Now, gentlemen, when you turn your blades in, make sure they fall within these following parameters. Your blade length, measured from tip to where the cutting edge ends in a straight line, needs to be between 17 and 19 inches. You need to include 2 edges and a medial ridge on that blade, and you need to feature a wooden guard with a metal plate and a globe pommel. This is going to be a hell of a competition, guys. You have 8 hours to build a gladius with ball-bearing canister Damascus with a requirement of a peeled can. But keep in mind that at 5.5 hours into this competition, we will shut off your forges. So make sure you have those blades quenched and hardened by that time. Good luck. Stay sharp. Your time starts now.
Yeehaw.
This is going to be an interesting one.
It's a ballsy call for Jesse right here, asking for a peeled Damascus.
That's the great thing. Jesse's always trying something new. But does he know that the ball bearings need to be at a higher temperature and soak longer? Otherwise, they're not going to fuse up in that can.
I mean, I've done canister Damascus. Every time I've done it, I peeled the can off. Didn't seem to have trouble with it. I go for the whiteout. And I know I've got to get that whiteout to dry prior to doing anything from that point on.
I put the whiteout in. Now I put it aside, and he's drawing out his plan. It's a good idea.
The last thing that I want is my steel not welding together. So I get all of that powdered steel settled in between all the ball bearings, almost like making a ball bearing lasagna. Pack it down the best that I can and weld the top. I'm ready to stop Jesse's winning streak, and I'm ready to go on to the next and then the next. Plenty of time, plenty of time.
After forging for 48 hours, I'm definitely feeling it a little bit. I know from watching Jay Nielsen's videos that I'm supposed to let this whiteout dry somewhat, but I don't have time for that. I try to go over to the forge and heat it up and have it cool a little bit faster, but
Oh boy, here we go.
just lights on fire.
Jesse just went and did a little burnout on his can.
Oh.
Once you burn that white out, it kind of changes the chemicals in there, and it doesn't really work as a resist anymore.
I decided to risk it and just go back and pack it while the whiteout's still pretty liquid.
Oh!
It looks like my forge just got possessed.
This could just be having some gapping in the weld. Jesse should pull that out and re-weld around that cap again quickly.
That's all material burning out of the inside of the can. That creates a void.
Sparking goes on for a while, but then it just stops 100%. So now that my billet's cooking up, I take this time, go to the pantry, and begin picking out materials for my handle.
Let's go.
Canister comes up to what I think is ready to go, and we start squaring it off.
Matt's taking his time. He's being careful with this. He's not distorting the canister much at all.
I get to the point where it looks as if I've got one solid piece of steel. I'm ready to take the canister off. As I am peeling off the can, I look down at the steel and there's little ball bearings on my inside. It kind of freaks me out. It doesn't look right.
Uh-oh, guys. Matt just put his billet down on the ground back by his vise.
I just make the quick decision.
Starting over.
We got a restart.
My question is why did he restart?
He only opened a tiny
That's
little
what I'm
seam.
saying.
Yeah.
He didn't
Barely
open it
at
up
all.
to see what's going on in there.
I don't even want to try to salvage it and bury myself 3-4 hours into this blade. If my second billet comes out looking the same as my first, then I guess I was right the first time, but I can't stop.
The first 2 welding heats go very, very well, but I don't have X-ray vision. The only way that I can tell what's inside this can is to start peeling it open. It feels solid enough, so I attempt to chisel away this can. I expected there to be a little bit of a barrier between the can and what's inside the can, but it just looked like one homogeneous piece of steel.
What Jesse's doing is extremely exhausting.
And that's on top of 40 hours of forging he's done in the past 5 competitions.
Oh! I did have a lot of energy going to this competition, but it's all being sapped away by the most draining process I've experienced yet. I wish I chose a different forging technique. This sucks.
Bladesmiths, you have 6 hours left.
All right. Second can gets up to heat. and it's heat, beat, and repeat. Same thing I did with the first can.
So there's something about restarting. What are you going to change to not get the same result?
It's kind of taking a gamble, because with so many steps in the process, how do you identify which one went wrong? Oh, baby!
It comes off easy. It looks to be one solid piece of steel.
So Matt's got that can off his billet. Now he's on the press, going to start drawing it out the length.
Drawing it quite aggressively. This is where you start putting those cracks in the sides.
And as I'm hammering, a ball bearing actually falls off.
Oh, no.
Ah! I know I've got to calm myself down. I'm doing something wrong.
Oh, boy. He's thinking about restarting.
This is where Matt needs to straighten that billet out, cut it, and restack it.
That's worth a shot.
I cannot believe I'm thinking I've got to do it a third time.
Oh, wow.
Are you kidding me, guys?
So that's 2 hours gone out of the challenge.
Push, push, push. Don't stop moving. That's all I'm thinking.
We're over 2 hours into the 8th Gladiator of the Forge battle, and Matt is struggling with Jesse's pick of Canister Damascus. He's already restarted once, and he might have to start over again.
I've got my second billet drawn out. And as I'm hammering, a ball bearing actually falls off.
Oh, no.
I cannot believe I've got to do it a third time.
Oh, wow.
Are you kidding me, guys?
Too aggressive on that first
I
pass.
think you're right.
Giving up is not going through my mind. It's how do I succeed? I've got to hurry.
Finally, holy. After 45 minutes of chiseling away, the last side of the can comes off. I am ridiculously happy, but I just barely got started, and I need to make a full-blown sword.
Usually at this point, Jesse's already got a billet drawn out.
Right?
There's not a single inch on this billet where there's no cracks. I could end my win streak here. I could turn in a cracked blade and the judges won't even test it. I can try to fix these cracks in my billet, or I can restart. But there's no way I'm peeling off that can again. So I employ all of my fluxing powers and try to fix these forge welds.
This is the issue we were worried about because that whiteout wasn't drying. So it could have gotten mixed in there, and that's in the middle of all that consolidation.
I get most of these cracks ground out of the billet. I'm just super lucky. Now it's time to take it to Old Big Blue and completely draw it out and get ready for beveling.
Bladesmiths, 3 hours down, 5 hours gonna go.
Come on. I've completely lost track of the clock. My only and main focus is on this third canister. I've got to get this to work for me. This is my last chance.
There we go. You had the heat up nicely. Did one pass, flipped it 90 degrees, did another pass, put it back in the fire.
Get to the point where I feel I can take the can off. And this thing fights me tooth and nail.
Did he spend more time consolidating the welds because he's worried about having those cracks and delaminations
I
in
think
it?
so, and I don't think that was a bad idea, but what it did was probably weld that can onto that billet in several places. So now he's got to deal with that.
It's just me and that third can, and I am going to win.
There you go.
The last piece pops off. Oh my God, it's time to work. We gotta work, and we gotta work fast.
Jesse seems to be going right along in his profile, so I guess whatever issues he had on the edge are gone.
After I'm done forging on my blade, I need to get some good normalizing cycles.
It's got to be very disheartening for Matt when he's just trying to forge out a shape and Jesse's already thermal cycling.
I want there to be as small a chance as possible of the blade cracking in the quench.
Jesse quenched.
Nice color all throughout.
The quench goes perfectly, and I don't see any cracks on the blade. It's time to hog off the most material I ever have and get this blade to its final shape.
Wow, it's hard.
Big Blue, that's my time saver. I shape it just to give myself a blade profile that I can work with.
Matt has really got to get over to that forge and that blade quench.
15 minutes till the forges turn off.
Matt went right back to the grinder. I thought he was going to go to the forge.
I mean, this idea that you can't grind after you quench, I don't know what
Here's where you want to shout out, are you sure?
So I know the forge is going to cut off at the 2.5 hour mark, but quenching it without a thermal cycle, I've got the chance of some catastrophic failures. So I'm going to use the oxyacetylene to do my heat treat.
This is literally risking everything.
5, 4.
No
Yeah, he's
way.
not doing
Okay.
it.
What the hell?
Bladesmiths, you have 2 hours and 30 minutes left.
You gotta be me.
Matt made a very questionable decision.
Is not a way to go.
There's no way that quenching with the torch could be faster than quenching with the...
No.
It could be done, but
Yeah,
not
but
faster.
it's also not as accurate.
Right.
This handle construction is infinitely easier than the last one I did.
Jesse has an advantage right now because he's built a handle like this.
But the handles have always been the thing that could possibly send Jesse home. So is he going to spend enough time on this?
Glad I'm not paying for this. After all my experiences, I just want to make sure that the judges have no reason to yell at me for a bumpy handle. I want to make sure there's nothing that they can complain about in how the handle is built. I want it to be the most comfortable thing they've ever felt.
You have 90 minutes remaining. Now, this is a huge deal because a quenched blade is a parameter in order to get your blade tested.
So I know the forge is cut off, so last minute decision, I said, let's do an edge quench. With the oxyacetylene torch, the only thing I have to work with is a very small flame that's only going to get concentrated areas on that steel hot enough for a heat treat.
How long will it take him to get this up to temperature for a proper quench?
Way too long.
I've lost 15 minutes and my steel is not up to temperature.
Matt's torch is just not as hot as it can be. It will take way too long to heat this blade. She has not got the gas mixture on that right. That should be a screaming hot blue flame about a 1/4 inch off the end of that rosebud.
Maybe underneath all the soot, everything that's there, maybe the blade is a little bit redder than what I think. So I quench.
There's not even any smoke coming out of there.
I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna push. I've got to move on. The blade is just gonna have to do. I've got to get a handle on it.
Bladesmiths, you have 20 minutes remaining.
Jesse's handle looks great. Really nice globe on the back of it.
In the past, the judges have said that they wish that I etched my blade a little bit more.
I wish you had had time to etch a little bit more so I could see the pattern.
When I pull it out, it literally looks like enlarging dragon scale Damascus. I'm really happy, and now it's time to put an edge on this thing. I need to make sure that it cuts and slices through anything that the judge can throw at it.
I'm mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, but I get my handle on.
He doesn't even have a way to fix the handle. We're looking at an incomplete blade.
I'm not stopping until somebody tells me to stop.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gentlemen, turn off your machines, put down your tools. This battle is over.
I'm just mad at myself. There were simple mistakes that I made that cost me. All I know is I came and I gave it my all.
Gladiators of the Forge, welcome to the kill test. Let's see if you're glad to have a gladius. Jesse, you're first. Ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this.
With this being my 6th time going into testing, I want to win this one the most. I want the title just as much for this round as I did for any other round. If I wanted it less and less, what kind of a gladiator would I be? With this being my 6th time going into testing, I want to win this one the most. I want the title just as much for this round as I did for any other round.
All right, Jesse, let's talk about your gladius. Looks like 6 times the charm, because this is the best handle you've presented us. Everything is nice and tight, it is smooth, and it's ovoid to where I can get a really good grip on this, fits nicely in my hand. Your tip is pointy enough to puncture nicely, and your edge is sharp enough to cut the pig carcass down. Overall, sir, your gladius He'll kill.
Thank you.
Matt, your turn, sir. You ready?
Ready.
Let's do this.
My blade has so many issues. My biggest concern is because of the heat treat on my blade, it's gonna hit a bone that's just gonna shatter.
I have my questions about this handle. I don't really see a mechanical connection. I think it's just held by glue. What do you guys think?
My biggest question is that thing hard? It was quenched at such a low temperature.
Can't be.
The only way to
Find
check. File's grabbing pretty good.
Yeah. Not skating at all.
I mean, you can see where it's just
eating
moving
it.
metal. This blade's just not hardened.
All right, Matt, unfortunately, after doing a file check, we've determined that your blade is not hard. Now, we consider that a parameter failure and cannot continue testing your blade fairly against your competitors. We want to say thank you so much for coming out, fighting so hard, never giving up in this competition, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
I understand.
Thank you, Matt.
Good
Thank you,
fight,
Matt.
Thanks,
Good
Matt.
fight.
I'm just happy that I was able to finish a blade. It's a life lesson. Overall, I'm proud I fought to the bitter end. I'd never stopped the whole time. Jesse, I wish you the best of luck.
Well, Jesse, man, I know this is probably not the way that you wanted to win a competition, but you have taken down 6 competitors. You have $40,000 in your pocket and 6 Gladiator of the Forge titles, man. Congratulations.
I didn't expect to win even half of this much. Everything is still a blur. Everything is still a surprise.
Again, congratulations. We got to ask you, do you want to go back into the Forge for another 8-hour round and battle it out for another title?
Of course.
Right on, man. All right, well, congratulations, man. We will see you for another one on the Forge floor. Well done.
Thank you. I'm Jesse Hu. I'm the 6-time Gladiator of the Forge, and I'm not scared about next competition.
Here in the Forge, we have seen hundreds of smiths create some of the most feared edged weapons in history. Now, in honor of history's miniseries event Coliseum, we have decided to transform our Forge into a Roman gladiators arena. This is Gladiators of the Forge. With only 2 battles to go, our current Gladiator of the Forge has won 6 in a row and is looking to complete this competition undefeated.
I'm not ready to give up this seat anytime soon.
If Jesse has what it takes to win both these battles tonight, he will match the most amount of money ever earned in Forge and Fire history, $50,000. But our judges are taking back control and bringing back competitors from earlier battles. The competition concludes now.
My name is Jesse Hu. I'm 19 years old. I go to the University of Michigan, and I'm the 6-time Gladiator of the Forge. Having the title Gladiator of the Forge definitely feels kind of nice. It's kind of fun to picture myself as like a battle-hardened gladiator that's been fighting for ages, which is kind of true, but I'm not bloody and I don't have scars from each battle. All I have is just fatigue.
He's almost like part of the crew now.
Oh, yeah, no.
My name is Eric Peralt. So last time I was here, Jesse was facing me as Vitul, the Viking blacksmith. Jesse did beat me last time. I forgot to sharpen the inside of that Sika sword and shot myself in the foot. It is a little bit more personal coming back to find the same guy here, but his path ends now.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the Forge. Eric, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Now, Eric, we picked you because of your calm demeanor and how well you worked under the pressure of the clock in competition. And we thought you deserved a second chance at the title, so here you are. Well, Jesse, you've tallied up a total of $40,000. And if you win out, you stand a chance at taking home $50,000. But, Eric, if you came out on top, that's your first Gladiator of the Forge win, and you'll get a $5,000 check. And we'll ask if you want to come join us in the final battle of this competition series. Now, gentlemen, as per usual, this will be an 8 straight hour forge welding competition where you'll build a blade from start to finish. At the end of that time, you'll present your work to our panel of expert judges, and they will put your blades through a series of tests to decide which one of you is coming out on top today. Now, typically in this competition, you guys would be choosing the weapon and the forge welding technique. But today, we're turning the tables a little bit, and we are taking control back. There are only 4 blades left on the wall of gladiator weapons, each of which were featured on history's miniseries event Coliseum. You're gonna be building this.
As long as they stay away from that spiked mace, I'm a happy man.
The Achinaces.
The Achinaces traces its origin back to the first millennium BC, all across the Mediterranean region. This deadly double-edged dagger was used by Roman gladiators in pairs, allowing them to deliver quick slashes and deadly strikes upon opponents inside the walls of the Colosseum. This weapon was so fierce, it was even believed to have been wielded by Mithras, the Persian god of the sun.
Now, gentlemen, when you turn your blades in, make sure they fall within these following parameters. Your blade length, measured from tip to where the cutting edge ends, needs to be between 20 and 22 inches. It needs to have a medial ridge and be double-edged. It also needs to feature an anthropomorphic hilt, which means it needs to resemble a human being. Now, along with the weapon, we have also chosen the forge welding technique that we want you both to use to build your blades. Now, if you look in the pantry, you'll see we have stacks of 1095 and 15N20 high-carbon steel bars. We want you to take that steel and turn it into at least a 100-layer twisted Damascus billet from which you will make your blades.
Oh my God.
By the end of the 8 hours, one of you will be standing victorious, earning the title of Gladiator of the Forge and getting a check for $5,000. So work hard, stay sharp. Your time starts now. Twisted Damascus and 100 layers, guys. This could be an interesting one.
All right, good luck.
You too, brother, you too.
One of the mild downsides in Jesse's situation is he's done so well in 6 challenges. All we're expecting is more. We don't expect him to skate by.
Eric is great at competition. This is like anime protagonists versus main antagonists. I beat him once, and he's back for blood.
In time competition, 100 layers is not difficult, but you got to stand your game.
I always have the tendency to pick too much material at the beginning. So I set 4 layers off to the side. That leaves me with 20 layers, which means I have to cut and restack 5 pieces to get 100 layers.
In 10 minutes flat, Jesse has gotten a billet together, stacked up, welded it in the fire.
Jesse's being Jesse. Fast, furious, going all the way through. Eric's being Eric. Slow and smooth, but he does get it done.
I'm actually a little bit happy to see Jesse still in this competition because this becomes truly a shot at redemption now. Last time, when I was sharpening that Sika sword, I said to myself, don't forget to go back and sharpen the inside of that corner, and I never did.
Welding!
This time, that mental mistake is not gonna happen again. I'm going to use 22 pieces, draw it out, split it into 5 pieces, restack it and draw it again. That'll put me at 110 layers.
We'll see what happens.
As expected, Eric is not running, but he's moving along just fine.
I came here to prove that I could do this. I just need to keep it together.
So now that my billet is drawn out,
Come on.
I need to get this thing cut into 5 pieces.
Look at Jesse. He's running from the bandsaw to the chop saw. This is a young man who's not wasting any of his time out on this forge floor.
Wow, perfect.
I now have 100 layers, but still a lot of work to do.
Eric has drawn out his first billet, cut it up so they'll fit together nicely for his second stack.
Great.
Great.
So they're both set up.
He got the job done.
I restacked twice last time. It did eat up a great deal of time. So this time, getting it all in one pass is very crucial.
I'll take it.
At this point, I'm feeling pretty good.
Both the Smiths are doing a great job building this Achinaces sword, but they're both coming up on that twist.
Let's see how well this works.
Jesse's not a big guy, so I wonder how difficult it's going to be for him to actually twist this hot steel.
Okay, let's see how well this works.
Big problem is either under twisting, which we saw one competitor twisted like 1 turn.
You guys happy with what Alex did?
and it turned out almost looking like straight lines. And then you have the chance of over-twisting and shearing this billet.
Mother!
And it starts to pull my billet apart.
I need to start this billet over. Oh, wow, okay.
Apparently, my billet is too big for me to twist. Everything could go wrong during the twist. If I'm not able to twist my billet, I could actually get sent home for missing a parameter. I've won 6 Gladiator of the Forges. I would be devastated to hear I'd miss parameters and lost.
Step on the plate, stand on those. You're helping to anchor it, and you got better leverage.
Or just go to the press.
Is that enough? Good enough for me.
Bladesmiths, you guys have 4.5 hours left.
So I get to the point where I feel I've got good solid welds set on my 110 layer billet. It would hurt a little bit more to lose twice to the same person, so I get this wild hankering to go big or go home.
He's not going to get through me twice.
What is Eric doing? I can't see. If he's going for a Turkish twist, that's impressive but scary at the same time.
I'm going to cut my billet in half, and I'm going to twist one half clockwise and twist the other half counterclockwise. And then cut those 2 in half to get 4 pieces, then stack them back together.
Eric is going further than I would have in a time competition like this.
It's a big risk, but if it comes through, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, but it's a big risk.
I'm scared that once I start twisting, I'm just going to see layers start pulling apart. We're about halfway through the challenge at this point, and if this fails, there's no way I'm going to come back to win this challenge. This just needs to work.
Oh, yeah!
Everything on my steel looks good, so I now have to cut and restack. There's a chance that doing all of this could backfire on me and I run out of time at the end of the round. But there's also a chance that doing all of this could be what wins this competition for me. This thing's gonna be a sword here soon.
Good enough for me.
I already have my blade mostly forged to shape, and I get ready for the quench. Everything can go wrong during the quench. If this quench fails, it could send me home and end my win streak.
Here we go.
There we
Jesse
go.
is now in the oil.
That's great.
It went perfectly. The blade looks great. There's no cracks. I heard no pings. Things have been going great in this round so far, but I need to keep working on my blade.
Oh, there you go.
All right, we've got 2 quench blades.
Colors in that blade look pretty good when you put it in the oil.
I got a good solid blade here. Some days I even amaze myself.
I got a lot of metal to remove from this blade because she's still pretty heavy. I'm a little worried about the time. It all just depends on how quickly I can get these vein bevels in here.
Bladesmiths, you are down to the final 2 hours of this battle.
Now that my blade is quenched, I could begin finalizing these grinds. I've heard that the contact wheel is the fastest way to remove material.
That's great.
But I've never used it in this competition so far. Because I'm using the contact wheel, I'm gonna get a hollow ground blade. That means it'll be a lot lighter in the end than it would be with flat grinds, and the example blade is 100% hollow grind.
The neat thing about hollow grind, it lays the pattern out really nicely.
That is pretty damn good.
My sword has gotten a lot lighter, and I want to make sure I leave that tang a little on the heavy side and bring that balance back a little closer to the handle.
It's gonna be close on time. I still gotta get this handle on the blade.
So I'm using brass in my guard pommel and pommel cap to help counterbalance the weight.
His handle parts look really well done.
I'm concerned about how thick it is, though.
Right, counterbalancing a heavy blade with more weight just makes it heavy.
I've got a lot of my handle work completed. Now it's time to get this handle glued up.
He's a little man.
Bladesmiths, you guys have 60 minutes remaining.
So now I need to make an anthropomorphic handle.
The whole idea of the anthropomorphic is replicating human shape, not making it exact.
So I grabbed some mild steel. It'll be a lot lighter in the end rather than brass.
Okay.
After I get these shaped up pretty well and symmetrical as can be,
All right. Which way did it go again?
I decided to also carve a little bit of a face into both sides of my pommel. This face is not necessary at all. It's for fun. My blade looks menacing. It looks terrifyingly sharp. The grind lines are pretty much perfect. And then my handle is just a person. It's kind of great.
Bladesmiths, you have 15 minutes remaining.
Now the rest of the time I have left is devoted to sharpening this blade. I'll take anything else as long as this blade will cut.
Better than last time.
It's good to see that Eric, in the last few minutes, is still focused on that edge, because that is how he lost to Jesse.
He's doing a great job.
I couldn't be happier with the way this blade's turning out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, put down your tools. This round is over.
I really don't want to lose twice to the same guy. I'd still like to be the one to take him out and end his winning streak. And I think this blade will do it.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our strength test. Today we have the Roman throne chop. And since you didn't get a chance to pick the technique or the weapon, you get to choose who goes first.
What?
I'll take it.
Eric, you want to go first? Let's do it, bud.
Last time I was here, Jesse ended up going first in the testing. And I just figured it was only fair I would go first this time, so I stepped up. My biggest concern about that stone chair is blunting my edge. There's a real good chance that I could end up with a dull spot again. I really don't want that to be the reason I go home twice.
All right, Eric, I gotta say, good job, man. All right, first of all, there's no deflection, deformation. It came out nice. Did a good job. If we could etch this thing for like another 2 hours, this thing would be amazing looking. But the one complaint I have is there is a ton of weight on here. Controlling that during chops, it rolled over on me a couple times. Other than that, good job.
Thank you.
All right, Jesse, you're up. You ready to go?
Heh, no.
Well, we're gonna do it anyway.
I can tell that the purpose of this chair is to destroy blades, especially since I know Jay's gonna be swinging the blades. This throne may be the most difficult strength test I've had to encounter. It's been such a long road, but this could be the beginning of the end. I may not be here for the next battle.
All right, Jesse, nice job. It's nice and light. It did a good job on the throne. The edge is fine. Everything's still tight and true. Good job.
Thank you.
Gladiators of the Forge. This is it. This is the sharpness test. I'm going to take your weapons and try to cut through these ropes. Eric, you're first. You ready for this?
Let's do it, Doug.
All right, let's do it.
Damn.
Better.
All right, Eric, let's talk about your sword here. You have a sharp edge, but there is a weight to your weapon that makes it hard to hold on to. It did cut most of the ropes, but overall, you will cut. Jesse, your turn. You ready?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. All right, Jesse, let's talk about your weapon here. First up, your edge. Cut most of the rope except for the last one, but I cut a different angle, so I'll call that on me. But it is sharp. What I love about this is the balance and weight you have on your weapon. Overall, it will cut.
Now, guys, both of your blades performed extremely well during our test, which makes for a very difficult decision for our judges. Because now they have to decide which one of you is taking home that $5,000 check and the title of Gladiator of the Forge. So while they discuss, I'm going to ask that you both please step off the forge floor. All right, guys, the old tortoise and the hare story here, but somebody's going to cross the finish line first. Jay, what do you think about these blades?
I'm really torn because they're both beautiful blades. The issue that I have with Eric's is, even though it looks closer to our example, there's so much brass on that, and it makes that handle so heavy, and it throws the balance off. And I felt it roll when I was doing the strength test a couple times. I didn't have that issue with Jesse's.
In my test, I feel they both cut, so they're both sharp, except when you pick up Jesse's blade, it just got a different feel to it because it's much lighter compared to Eric's heavier sword.
Okay, but we have to make a decision. Dave, you've made yours?
I have. Yeah.
Doug?
Yes, I have.
Jay?
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, we'll call them in. Gentlemen, in 8 hours, you guys both built some of the most beautiful blades I've seen here in a very long time. But only one of you can leave here today as the Gladiator of the Forge, getting that check for $5,000. Jesse, if you win, that's 7 total wins and $45,000 in your pocket. Eric, if you came out on top, that's your first Gladiator of the Forge win in a redemption round, and you'll get a $5,000 check. And we'll ask if you want to come join us in the final battle of this competition series. Our judges did make a final decision. Gentlemen, the Gladiator of the Forge today is... Jesse, congratulations, you did it again, man. Eric, it's been an honor to watch you work, but unfortunately, your blade did not make the cut by the smallest of margins, and Jay's gonna tell you why.
Eric, you gave Jesse a run for his money the first time you were here, and you made it even closer this time. It basically just came down to weight. There was so much weight in that handle, it made it harder to control, and that's the reason we're sending you home.
I get it. I get it. At least I made you guys work for it this time.
Well, Eric, you took a lot of risk. You gave us an unbelievably beautiful blade, but unfortunately, at this point, I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge.
Thank you, guys.
Great job, Eric. Really.
Well done.
Keep it. You got ways to go, man. I really wanted to take him down this time, and I gave it my best shot and just came up a couple ounces short. Being the Viking and Jesse's the Gladiator, it's an epic showdown, but the Gladiator won this time.
Jesse, that is 7 battles and 7 victories. You just won another check for $5,000. Well done. You now have $45,000 in your pocket, and you are 7 titles in with a chance for 1 more if you have enough in you to go back in the forge and battle again. What do you say?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I can see the finish line. Why not keep going? What just happened? I'm somehow the 7-time Gladiator of the Forge.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations again. We can't wait to see you battle it out in the final battle. Well done, man.
Thank you. I keep on saying that this battle is closer than my previous battle. I can't imagine a scenario in which it'll be closer for the next battle. I never expected to be fighting for the last 5 grand to 50 grand, but I'm going to keep my place on the throne.
Jesse, in the past 7 battles, you have been faced with fierce competitors, and you've knocked them all out of this competition. And if you win today, you will match the most amount of money ever earned in Forge of Fire history, $50,000. But Jesse, we're not gonna make it easy on you. Because today we have decided to bring back yet another smith who you've met in this forge. But this time your competitor has 2 Gladiator of the Forge titles of his own.
Oh.
Jesse, in order to win today, you're gonna have to beat this guy. Kurt.
My name is Kurt. I'm a 2-time Gladiator of the Forge, and in the competition that I lost against Jesse, I ran out of time with my handle fit and finish.
Well, Kurt, this decision came down to the handle, and your handle was less refined than your opponent.
Now I get another chance at beating Jesse, and then he can feel what it's like to have a loss under his belt.
Kurt, welcome back to the Forge, bud. It is great to see you. Now, last time you were here, you started off the Gladiator of the Forge competition series with 2 victories of your own. You now have $10,000 in your pocket from those wins, and you stand a chance at totaling $15,000 if you take home the win today.
This is my last competition, so I knew that they weren't gonna go easy on me just because of that.
This battle will consist of 8 hours of forging competition where you will build one of these 3 blades from our wall of gladiator weapons.
These weapons have been sitting on the wall for all 7 competitions. They're definitely the 3 hardest weapons.
Today, you're gonna need to build this.
There's a small pool of weapons that can be chosen from. I hope it's not a Dolabra or a spike mace.
The Dalabra.
The Dalabra was a versatile weapon used by the Roman Empire army in the 1st century and beyond. Featuring a massive axe head on one side and a sharp pick on the other, the versatile battle axe doubled as a tool for soldiers who would need to fell trees and clear brush. In the Colosseum, the Dalabra's ability to deliver deadly chops and lethal blows against an enemy made it a favorite weapon of the gladiators.
Now, guys, the head of your battle axe will need to measure between 7 and 8 inches. And on the reverse side, you need to have a sharpened recurve pick. Your handle will need to feature a leather wrap, and the overall height of this weapon needs to be between 30 and 32 inches. Now, Bladesmiths, as far as technique, we're gonna leave that up to you. In the pantry, we have a massive assortment of steel. You can do any method you want.
That's surprising. I'll gladly take it. I can use this to do something more complicated than Kurt does, which gives me the opportunity to earn more points in front of the judges.
Bladesmiths, this is it. This is the last battle in our Coliseum-themed competition, Gladiator of the Forge. So good luck. Your time starts now. This'll be a doozy to end the Gladiator of the Forge competitions.
It's amazing watching these 2 Smiths. This basically a redemption for Kurt.
And for Jesse, it's how do I stay on top?
If he wins this one, he has 8 victories under his belt. He has 50 grand in his pocket.
And both competitors have home field advantage. You know, where everything is, this is their arena.
Yeah, except the fact that Jesse's got a cot set up in the back because he hadn't left in a week.
This is my last competition, whether I win or lose, so I'm going big.
Jesse's got 1095, 15 and 20 bar stock, as well as a canister.
He's doing a canister.
Dude, this is gonna be awesome. He's biting off a lot.
I decide to go with fishhook canister Damascus, Sanmai with random pattern Damascus. That's a lot of things.
Fish hooks are great. I love fishhook Damascus.
My game plan is to forge out this canister, cut the canister billet in half for the outer jacket, and then forge out a 20-layer random pattern billet and have that as a sandwich. I'm hoping it looks impressive.
I'm really expecting to see something amazing coming out of Jesse's forge.
Go big or go home.
Jesse's still here, so he's won all of his battles. So I know that I need to bring my A game to beat Jesse. I'm gonna make a 100-layer Damascus Sanmai. I want to do 20 layers of the 1095 and the 15 and 20. Draw out the billet, and then I'll cut it up in 5 pieces, and I'll stack that again. And that'll give me 100 layers. And then I'll draw that out, and I'll cut it up into 2 pieces and put a 1095 core in the middle. And that'll be the edge of the Dalabra. I really want this. I want this more than the first time, because now it's redemption.
So right now, Jesse's got 2 billets going. He's got the fishhook canister Damascus and layered stack.
Having done Damascus during the past 7 rounds, I'm confident enough in my abilities to make sure these forge welds are good.
Is that Jesse's can already?
Yeah.
Jesse's so fast.
I'd hire him.
And now he's setting that laminate stack.
I'm a little bit more tired than usual, especially after 7 rounds, but I'm definitely not gonna let being tired throw me off, because if I lose this one, my win record won't be perfect.
Jesse looks like he's got a good, solid piece of steel.
After setting these welds, it's time to draw them both out for my Sanmai billet.
I've spent over an hour prepping and cleaning, so I need to catch up and get these forge welds set.
Ah, man, you need to get that billet hot. Hotter.
Oh, broken wide open.
My other 3 competitions, I never had that problem. And now that I'm trying to take Jesse down, out of nowhere, I'm having all these things go wrong.
Kurt is not being patient with the heat.
I'm already behind on time, and I don't know how I'm gonna fix that. I'm pretty nervous. This is frustrating. I can put some more flux on it and try to get this weld to stick, but that fails. I'll have to start over with a mono steel blade, and I know that's not gonna be enough to beat Jesse, so I'm just gonna start over right now.
Smart move.
Good idea.
Plenty of time.
Well done. This time I go with 16 layers because that's 4 less chances of a forge weld not taking. If I cut it up 4 times, I'll still have 64 layers total with that 1095 core for the sand mine. I definitely feel like I can catch up as long as I don't make any mistakes.
Bladesmiths, we are 2 hours into this battle. You have 6 hours remaining.
Once these billets are drawn out to the length that I want them, it's time to set my sonmite. I'm expecting to drift a hole in this piece. So I'm setting up my sonmite so that there's already a gap. It'll give me a lot less probability of punching it and cracking the steel.
There are some drawbacks to that process. As you hammer that eye open, where that comes together with that centerpiece, it can start to tear.
Okay.
So if you're gonna set it up that way, MIG weld all the way around where the contact's gonna be.
After I get this entire thing welded, I'm prepared to begin drawing out my blade.
Jesse's got his final billet stacked up, and Kurt still has to get his final working billet.
All the forge welds took. So once I get the length that I need, I can cut it up into 4 pieces, stack it, and draw it out to get the 64 layers.
Well then, Kurt needs to let that heat up until it is screaming hot.
If these forge welds don't take, now I'm really behind.
Look at the difference in color from the first forge welds. That's great. Good.
Now that I'm confident that the welds are good, I can draw it out and then forge weld the stand my. I can see that Jesse's still ahead of me, but I think I'm slowly catching up.
Bladesmiths, we are officially at the halfway mark. You have 4 hours left.
Jesse's been doing great. He got that hole drifted, and now he's got a lot of material there.
A pickaxe is not gonna have the same mass as the axe head. So I'm gonna be offsetting my eye, putting more material to one side as compared to the other. Okay. After I get the axe head shaped out, it's time to go on to the pick.
This is one of the few axe heads you see where the tail end is actually further out than the head. So it's going to be very crucial to see when Jesse pulls this out and if he pulls it out properly.
This is not your traditional pickaxe. It's a recurve pickaxe. So I do that with my good old trusty hand hammer and the anvil horn.
Jesse's blade is looking badass, while his competitor is still messing around with that eye.
This is a fairly thin weapon, so there's not a whole lot of room for air.
You don't want that socket to have thin walls. Think of stretching metal. Now you've built in a weak spot.
Hell.
I'm just wondering if we've got an issue here with some torn seams or something like that.
I see that some of the welds around the eye are splitting about 1/4 of an inch. I drifted the eye walls too thin, and there's a crack going right down it. During testing, it could blow apart completely. But this is the point where I probably wouldn't be able to fix it, so I'm hoping that is okay.
Now with the blade pretty much forged to shape, it's time for the quench.
There we go. All right, Jesse has his axe head quenched. Still has to get that pick done. Boom. Jesse has a fully quenched blade.
It's great. It's a little bit heavy, so I can definitely spend a lot of time on the grinder and make sure it's as light as it needs to be.
Guys, I gotta say, I was a little concerned about Kurt there for a while, but he is making some crazy progress.
I just want to do an edge quench on the axe head because if there is too much stress on that cracked weld around the eye, it could blow the entire weld apart. I'm hoping that this heat treat goes well.
All right, guys, we got 2 bladesmiths with 2 fully quenched weapons. These guys are seriously neck and neck.
Yeah.
One of the parameters is a leather wrap. So it's time to give it some flair. I want it to look like a bloody mess.
What is Jesse doing?
He's trying to make it look like it's bloodied up.
How long does that stuff take to dry?
Long enough that I'm gonna have red hands.
This thing looks so menacing. Even my hands look bloody. Last thing I want to do is put an edge on this thing.
The last time that I lost against Jesse, it was because of the handle. So I'm going a little extra on this one.
Kurt's been spending a lot of time with that handle. Last challenge, make it beautiful.
I finally have everything put together, and I am extremely happy now. Hopefully, my weapon's good enough to beat Jesse.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, put down your tools. This round is over.
After 8 competitions and 64 hours of forging, I feel great. It was me doing what I love on the greatest stage.
Gladiators of the Forge. Your Delabras look evenly matched, but it's time to find out what kind of lethal damage they will do. This is the kill test. Kurt, you're up first. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this.
In the last challenge, I lost with my handle fit and finish. But I'm confident in the handle, and I can't wait to see what carnage they draw.
Damn.
All right, Kurt, let's talk about your Delabra here. First up, it is razor sharp. That time is gonna have a headache for a long time. Now, using this on that ballistic dummy, it is amazing. Every thrust with your pick here penetrated this because of the balance you have here allows for a nice thrust and delivery on that. But during the test, you lost a section right here. One of the layers from your blade right here didn't weld all the way through. But looking at this, your core is still solid. So it's still gonna be a functional and testable blade. And overall, sir, your Delabra, you will kill.
Thank you, Doug.
Jesse, you ready? All right, let's do this.
I've never encountered a ballistics dummy during this competition. I hope my blade suffers no structural damage because this is my last battle, and it's the last one I have to prove myself in. I worked so hard for this, so this win is for all the marbles.
All right, Jesse, let's talk about your Delabra here. First up, you have a heavier blade here, but it serves it very well when you're doing damage like that. The feel of the weapon really allows it to go deep into this ballistic dummy. Overall, sir, your Delabra, you will kill.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, you know what time it is. It's time for our strength test. The Roman armor and shield chop. And Kurt, you are up first.
Oh, destroy it.
I can't wait to.
So Kurt, this is a good-looking weapon. The leather wrap you did and the texturing up on the handle actually make it quite comfortable to swing. The issue I have is this delamination. It's come further open and didn't affect using it at all. But I do worry that that's going to continue to be a problem. All right, Jesse, you're up. You ready?
Sure. There's always that chance that it breaks. This is the last test standing between me and an 8-time Gladiator of the Forge title. I need to do well in this.
All right, Jesse, right off the bat, great look. It's a good shape. The pattern came out really nice, and where it really stands out is right there on the socket, which is kind of cool. You still got an edge. Everything's right and tight, everything's solid. All in all, it held up beautifully. Great job.
Thank you.
You had fun, didn't you?
Well, Jesse, Kurt, I couldn't have asked for a better final matchup. But at the end of the day, only one of you can take home that final title and the last check for $5,000. But Kurt, that would mean 3 victories and $15,000 in your pocket. Jesse, that could mean 50 grand and 8 victories in a row for you. You both have impressed us with your work, but our judges did make a final decision that they agreed upon. The Gladiator of the Forge is... Jesse, you are unstoppable. Now, Kurt, you should be proud of your work, but unfortunately, Delabra did not make the cut, and Doug's going to tell you why.
Kurt, once again, you impressed us. You gave us a beautiful weapon that was lethal and effective, but it had some craftsmanship issues. One of the layers of the Damascus broke off during our keel test, and that's the reason you're not winning today.
I understand.
Well, Kurt, you're not leaving here empty-handed. You are still a 2-time Gladiator of the Forge. You have $10,000 in your pocket, but unfortunately, your time in this competition has ended. I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Kurt.
Jesse, congrats, man. You deserve it.
Thank you.
So Jesse took another title, and I don't disagree at all. He, once again, turned in an awesome weapon.
Kurt, you did a good job, man.
Thank you.
Chin high.
This has been an absolute blast. From the first time I stepped out on the forge floor, I knew it was going to be physically exhausting, but I loved every second of it. And I ended up winning 2 challenges, so I'm happy.
Well, Jesse, I've got one word to describe you, and that is impressive. You just won your 8th Gladiator of the Forge title, and you have $50,000 to take home with you. Congratulations.
Thank you. This experience was definitely once in a lifetime. I just won 50 grand. I'm planning on putting so much of it into bladesmithing. I already made a spreadsheet of all the tools I'm gonna buy. I'll finally live the dream as opposed to just dreaming the dream.
Here in the Forge, Damascus is one of the most difficult forging techniques. Oh, crap. Mother! But it also has the potential to be the most impressive. Tonight, 4 smiths must bring their A game because it's time for us to see who is the best in Damascus.
I'm Ryan Searles. I'm a 20-year-old artist and bladesmith from Thornton, Colorado. I've always loved to craft and build things with my hands, and when I found out I could play with fire and hammer steel, I mean, come on, what's not cooler than that?
My name is Jason Dingledine. I am 44 years old. I'm from Tacoma, Washington. I've been bladesmithing for about the last 25 years. I served in the U.S. Army with 2nd Ranger Battalion, Alpha Company for just over 6 years. I've wanted to do this for several years, and now I'm here.
My name is Matt Roberts. I'm 41 years old, and I've been making knives for about 20 years now. I've been practicing law now for about 14 years. My goal is to win the competition so I can have the bragging rights and, frankly, be insufferable to my friends, more so than I am already.
My name is Abram Peary. I'm 20 years old. I've been bladesmithing for 4 years, and I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. In high school, I had a little more free time than I probably should have, and I was always looking for the next thing that I could do to impress my friends and impress girls, and the more I hit steel, the more I learned, and it's something I love and it's something I'm passionate about.
The Bladesmiths, welcome to the Forge. Gentlemen, the 4 of you have been chosen to take part in a very unique bladesmithing competition which will test your skills against each other and against our clock. Now, you will all have your weapons critiqued by our panel of expert judges, and they will ultimately decide which one of you will be taking home the title of Forge and Fire champion and receiving a check for $10,000. All right, Bladesmiths, let's talk steel. To make your blades, you're gonna be using this. What we have here are bars of pristine high-carbon steel to make layered Damascus. We've got 1095, 15 and 20, 80 CRV2, even throwing a little nickel and copper in there. And with that, we want you to make a layered Damascus signature blade in whatever technique that you choose. But make sure that you are aiming high and you pick something that will impress the judges with not only your Damascus pattern, but the overall construction and completion of your blade. This is a competition we are calling the Best in Damascus. Now, this is where it gets interesting, guys. We won't have a 3-hour forging round and a 2-hour handle round. We are lumping them together in a 5 straight-hour bladesmithing competition. Whichever one of you impresses our judges the most with your 5-hour build, you'll get to skip testing and go straight into the final round. But not only that, you will also have the opportunity to choose what weapon from the Forge and Fire vault you and your competitor will both be building in the final round.
This ups the game for sure. One person goes straight to the finale, and the other 3 get to watch Jay Nielsen beat their blades on something terrible. Personally, I'd rather skip it, you know?
Now, for the remaining 3, you will immediately go into the testing arena and have your blades checked for strength and sharpness. To check functionality and strength, they will be used to chop through a wooden 4x4 and then check edge retention with a playing card slice. All right, gentlemen, this is your chance to impress our judges. You have 5 hours on the clock to complete this. Good luck, because that time starts now. All right. About to find out who impresses you guys the most. As fans of Damascus, what would you be hoping to see?
Feather pattern.
Feather.
I'd love to see a feather.
Ooh. I'd probably do a pattern on pattern. Go, Mike.
I just want to see some patterns. Obviously, I mean, this is about the best Damascus that they can present.
I grab my steel and head over to the grinder. I'm just trying to get this done as fast as possible. My goal for this competition is to do a 5-bar restack. The middle bar is going to be ladder pattern Damascus, 40 layers, and then on each side of that will be 2 alternating twisted bars forged together, Turkish twist style.
There's a lot of different ways they can use this material to make their blades pop. But the key is having a Damascus pattern that is 1, difficult, and 2, beautifully executed.
At the end of the day, if I can knock it out of the park, I think it's something the judges will really like.
I do not want to take the easy way out. I'm going to swing for the fences. I am alternating layers with 1095, 80 CRV2, and 15 and 20 in a repeating pattern, and do a higher layer count ladder pattern along the edge.
What is the minimum layer count to see something? Minimum.
To see a pattern, you've got to be above 150 layers. I mean, if you're below 150 layers, it's always going to be, oh, that's kind of a ladder, oh, that's kind of raindrops.
Knowing that one person will go straight to the final if they can impress the judges with the best Damascus, man, I gotta make something crazy. My thought is to try to make a sharp tooth Damascus pattern. So I run over to the welder. I stack 20 layers on the first billet. What I wanna do is try to make sharp tooth Damascus by grinding grooves in the steel. This will create patterns that really kind of pop out.
What is Ryan doing?
Ryan's having fun. He's doing a little happy dance.
I don't feel confident that I can make a very elaborate pattern in the 5 hours given to us. So I'm going to play it a little on the safe side. What I'm going to be doing is a ladder pattern. I'm starting with 10 pieces because I don't want to be fighting extra material. I'll also be adding material in as I cut and stack the pieces. And it'll make a very bold ladder pattern.
10 layers seems like a big risk.
Yeah, I'm looking at all that steel left over on Matt's table. If I have the option, I'll start out with as tall a billet as I can get in my forge.
After a couple passes through the press, I'm feeling very confident that these welds are ready to go and move on to my next step.
Ryan's got that angle grinder cutting diamonds into his billet. So when he draws that out, what's that pattern gonna look like?
Kind of like a ladder pattern where you got that chatoyancy, but they'll be like this as opposed. Just like if you were doing chevrons all the way up or something, similar to that.
Looks like Abram's going for the twist.
Nice.
I really need this twisting to go well. If I create cold shuts or shear the billets in half, I really don't have the time to restart.
That has been the smoothest we've seen so far in all our competitions of somebody twisting their billet.
My first billet's twisted up. Grab the second one, and this one I'm twisting in the opposite direction. That's what's gonna give me my Turkish twist.
By having those counter twists on either side, he'll have a star pattern.
If he accomplishes it, that's an impressive build.
Yeah, it is, because you're manipulating the layers in different ways, and that's what stands out.
I'm already impressed.
This is very ambitious from such a young smith.
This is a bladesmith that has a plan. This is great.
Now that I got all 4 billets twisted up, everything looks really solid. Woo! Take them to the anvil and re-square them.
Now that I have the billet welded, I move to the press and aggressively move that material to make sure I get the billet drawn out twice its length so I can fold it back on itself. Then I'll have a 20-layer count billet.
I'm not seeing a lot of high layer counts, and dramatic patterns come from high layers.
So now I'm up to 20 layers. Then I'm going to cut that billet into 4 equal pieces and then forge weld that back together, which will give me 80 layers.
What kills me with what Matt's doing is he could have had those layers from the start.
Yeah, we gave him probably 40 layers of steel each.
Yeah.
Once I'm complete with the initial weld run, I am trying to draw out the billet and lengthen it so that I can prep for my next cut and fold.
Uh-oh. It looks like he might have a split at the front of his billet. Ooh, yeah, that's a big split right down the guts.
Doesn't surprise me. He's working that billet really aggressively and not at a very high temperature.
I've eaten up an hour and 15 minutes of my time. My billet ended up delaminating right down the center, which is the absolute last thing that I want to happen, and it would be devastating to get sent home without even getting my blade tested. My options at this point are to abandon this billet or trying to repair it.
That's still not welding.
Guys, Jason just put his billet down on the ground over here.
I hope he's restarting.
At this point, my best option is to start over with a new billet. With my original plan going sideways, I do not have time to do the ladder pattern that I had intended. I am just moving forward with a lower layer raindrop pattern.
It's such a low layer count, he's gonna make a 12 to 14-inch knife, and there's just not a lot of metal there to work with.
I had intended to swing for the fences, and now I am just in recovery mode, trying to move forward and turn in a finished piece.
Guys, Abram's setting that weld.
All right, this is critical. He's got a very complex billet going on, and he's got a really difficult weld to set.
This weld is absolute make or break. I don't have enough time left in this competition to start over, so this has to work. If the billet folds over on itself, it could end up shearing the layers completely apart, or I could create cold shuts, and I really can't have that this far into the competition.
Those welds look like they're holding beautifully. Nice.
I think it's solid. I'm very happy with it. It's time to really turn this into a blade.
All right, Bladesmiths, you guys are impressing us so far, but you only have 3 hours remaining.
So once I got this shark tooth Damascus, billet drown out how I like, I'm just so excited. I know I'm gonna be able to forge a knife. Making something in our signature style, I know exactly what I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna do a recurve buoy. I mean, this thing will impress the judges.
It really looks like Ryan is making great progress forging out a blade.
Forging goes really smoothly. It's taking shape, and I feel really good at where I am.
Now that I have the final billet welded and drawn out, I can move on. I'm going to be making a spear point Bowie knife. It's probably going to be what the judges want, and it's something that I'm confident I can make in the time allotted. The Bowie knife I'm making is going to have a modified ladder pattern.
Matt has got his blade to shape, still very thick, so he's cutting in his ladder pattern.
Well, it's not really going to be a ladder pattern when you think about it. You might have ladder on the very top, but everything else will probably be ground away and hammered out.
Bladesmiths, you have 2 hours remaining. Matt and Jason need to speed themselves up.
At this point, I have 20 layers, which is enough to have some of the pattern show through, so I'm moving over to the drill press to create the dimples needed for this pattern.
Realizing that his competition is doing some pretty intense billets, Jason decided to throw some raindrop in there and a 20-layer billet.
Yeah, not enough.
That's not going to be very impressive.
For this blade, I'm going with the dagger style with an upswept guard and pommel. I think the bevels on the dagger grinds will show the pattern off really well, and I think it'll impress the judges that I went for the extra grinding and the extra time there.
It looks like a dagger.
That's a small blade. So hopefully, if he's thinking about impressing us and going through without being tested, he's really got to bring out that pattern and put a good handle.
The steel's finally starting to look like a blade. I'm getting it where I need to be, but I'm not feeling great.
Abram's starting to show signs of fatigue. His wrists are cramping up on him.
I've known that feeling.
I'm sweating like crazy, and I can feel myself getting dehydrated. So I'm trying to drink as much as possible, but it's not treating me too well.
No way.
I've seen competitions before where guys had to get pulled out because they got too dehydrated, and I just hope that doesn't happen to me. I really want to stay in this, and I want to get something finished.
Okay, we have some dehydration going on here.
I don't think it's dehydration. He's just chugging. He might be overhydrating and filling himself up so much and then running in circles.
How you feeling? I'm feeling good. I was a little dehydrated. I've been pounding the water, and I just pounded a little too much, so.
I definitely feel better having that over with.
You gotta take little sips, or else it's gonna come right back off.
That's on me, man.
Thankfully, the medic came in, cleared him. He's good to go.
All right, let's get back in there. I'm still not feeling fantastic, but I don't have time to focus on that. I got a lot to get done in a very short amount of time.
Getting a good quench is everything. It's a make or break for the blade.
And we got a quench blade from Ryan.
Quench blade, number 1.
I see it straight, and oh my gosh, that is such a relief.
There's 2 blades that are quenched.
It's straight, everything looks good. I'm confident things went well.
All right, Jason's got quenched. Hey, he was pretty far behind. For him to have the quenched blade, it's pretty good.
It has a slight warp in it, but it looks like I have enough material left on the blade to grind everything straight.
Abram's in the oil, last man standing.
I'm ecstatic to have a straight blade, so it's really time to start focusing on the handle.
Bladesmiths, you have 1 hour and 30 minutes remaining.
Ryan's on the acid edge already.
It's not exactly what I expected. It does kind of have some cool aspects, a lot of wavy lines and whatnot, but knowing that the judges are going to be looking at everything, if I can just add another component to make it look more aesthetically pleasing, that's what I can do. I decide to put a fuller in the blade, hoping that it's going to pull some of that deeper material and create some crazy contrast in between the layers.
That might be a good idea to get some of those patterns to pop.
Much as I like that idea, time is running out quickly.
The pressure is definitely on. I need to drill into the handle slabs. I think if I scramble fast enough, I have just enough time to get this accomplished. I chose red due to my military background. Red Fridays are remember everyone deployed, so I chose a red handle for the troops. Now that the pins and the scales are set in place, that gives me just enough time to get a comfortable grip ground.
I was originally going to go for an upswept guard on both sides, symmetrical, but I just don't have time to do that. This S-guard will be everything that I need it to be without adding a bunch of extra work.
Abram's got some kind of weird S-guard.
It's very thick, and those S's look small enough that once you put a handle in it, I don't think you can get a finger between that curvature and the handle. And remember this, it's not only a Damascus pattern, it's an impressus. Impressus with the entire blade. Impressus with the blade style for the challenge. Impressus with a guard and a butt cap that are also Damascus. A lot of aspects.
I gotta get the handle shaped up and comfortable, so if I do go into testing, it's at least somewhat usable.
Matt's blade looks pretty nice.
Yeah, I'm just worried about that handle connection.
The handle's giving me a hard time, and now I'm stuck trying to cram a tang into a slot that's much smaller than the tang. So I'm going back and forth between the drill press, trying to route out as much material as I need, going back to grinding the tang, trying to make sure I get a tight fit. So now I'm back in business, but I'm worried that I've made a number of small mistakes that have consumed a large quantity of my time.
The clock is ticking down. I've got to get this all glued up, and I have to get this thing sharpened. It's gonna be tight, but I think I can do this.
He came out of the gate running, and he has not stopped.
I glue up this thing, run straight to the grinder. It's a little bit of a hassle moving around with all those clamps on there, but I managed to make it work. Being able to skip testing would be really cool, but getting to pick the finale weapon would be a huge advantage and be awesome. But I'm not necessarily expecting to make it straight to the final, so I gotta make sure this thing is test ready.
Five, four, three, two, one. Bladesmith, turn off your machine, put down your tools. This round is over.
This competition was really all about impressing the judges. I chose the Damascus pattern that I did, that Turkish twist, because I thought it could really show off what I'm capable of, and I'm hoping it takes me right past testing.
All right, guys, so Smiths are off the floor. Now it's time for you to decide which one of these blades impresses you the most. Remember, whoever impresses you the most gets a ticket straight to the final round of competition, bypassing all the testing. So, Doug, why don't you start with Ryan's blade?
First up, it's got a nice shape. The pattern he's got, you can see the layers. You can even see it also on the spine. The handle construction is a little bit on the small side, but it is comfortable. No sharp edges in that. And overall, it has a good feel to it, and I think that it would perform nicely.
All right, so next we're moving on to Jason. Jason may have had bigger plans for his blade, but that restart kind of shifted gears and turned into a survival blade.
Whatever this ended up turning out to be, I appreciate all the work, but if you come into a competition and we tell you to impress us, 20 layers is not going to do it.
All right, let's move on. Now we've got Matt's blade.
Now, the blades we've looked at so far, that is a really nice blade shape. So everything from right here forward, I really like.
All right.
Man, there is a gap at the shoulders, and there's one pin here. This is a recipe for disaster.
All right, moving on to the final blade.
Abram did a heck of a job with all that Damascus, but this is light. Oh, and yeah, if you move your hand just a little bit, your knuckles really rub it on there. The guard still has very, very sharp corners. I think he realized, oh, I don't have enough time for this. Let me shift gears. Not a problem with that. It just didn't end up where he wanted to go. And that's a shame.
All right, guys. Tough decision, but one has to be made. Jay, you made your decision?
Yes.
Dave, how about you?
Yeah.
Doug?
Yes, I have.
All right, gentlemen, we'll call him in. All right, Bladesmiths, well, in the last 5 hours of this Best in Damascus competition, we asked you to build your very best blade and impress our judges with not only your Damascus pattern, but the overall construction and completion of your blade. The Bladesmith with the most impressive blade is Ryan. Congratulations, you turned in the most impressive blade, and Doug is going to tell you why.
Ryan, your blade has the overall best construction, design, and execution. Your Damascus pattern shows up well, and it looks good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, Ryan, congratulations. That means you are bypassing testing, going straight into the final round of this competition. So head on out. We will see you in the final round.
Feels so good just to go straight to the final round and not have to deal with my blade potentially snapping in half.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our strength test, our 4x4 post shot. Now what I'm gonna do is take your signature Damascus blades and deliver strikes on these heavy-duty posts. Jason, you ready?
Full send.
Let's go.
I didn't have time to make it quite as elaborate and as pretty as I'd intended, but I do think that my blade and my workmanship will survive through the testing.
All right, Jason, nice job. I do have to say your lines are a little funky, but everything held together just fine. No rolling, no chipping, nothing at all. The biggest problem I have is the handle. It's not uncomfortable, but some more flair on the back would have helped with retention. But overall, nice job.
Thank you.
Matt, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it.
I put the handle together in about 20 minutes. I'm confident that the blade will hold up. I am not confident the handle will hold up. Let's see what shakes out.
Good job, Matt. You survived.
Thanks.
Beautiful blade. The steel's good. You still got a razor edge on here. No damage at all. Overall, nice job.
Thank you.
All right, Abram, you ready to go?
I'm not, but let's do it anyways. All I'm hoping for going into testing is that my blade stays in one piece, but I'm definitely nervous. 2 smiths are gonna get eliminated, one's moving on, and we'll see what happens.
Starting to tear skin. All right, Abram. First of all, I want to commend you on all the work you did with the Damascus pattern. It came out beautiful. The biggest problem I have is the guard and handle. When I'm swinging away, my knuckle's banging right into that guard because there's not enough space right here. And you can see it's tearing my knuckle open. So that's why I had to stop.
Thank you.
Well, Abram, at the beginning of all this, I asked you guys to aim high with your Damascus patterns, and boy, did you ever. But because of the unfinished nature of your handle, Jay was unable to finish the testing safely. So unfortunately, at this point in time, I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Thank you. The guard was bent in a little too much and it's uncomfortable. Jay wasn't able to finish the test, and I completely agree with the judges. Anybody who's thinking of competing, drink a lot of water before, and don't drink water too fast while you're here.
Well, Jason, Matt, guys, congratulations. You made it through a brutal strength test, and your blades are in one piece. But we still have to figure out which one of you is joining Ryan in the final round of this competition. In order to do that, we're gonna put them through a sharpness test. For that, I'm gonna give you to Doug.
All right, Bladesmiths, this is the sharpness test, the playing card slice. Matt, you're going first.
I'm ready.
Let's do this.
That's sharp.
Yeah.
Wicked sharp.
All right, Matt, it cut very well. You have a nice, sharp edge. Your handle construction, it's got a nice flare. There's good retention when I hold on to it. Overall, sir, it will cut.
Thank you very much.
Jason, your turn. So you ready?
Rock and roll.
All right, Jason, let's talk about your weapon here. Your edge does meander a little bit with this little wave in there when you're looking at that. But during the test, it cut all the way through. Overall, your weapon, sir, you will cut.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, you both ran through the test with flying colors, but as you know, only one of you can join us in the final round of this competition and go up against Ryan. The bladesmith leaving the forge is Jason. Unfortunately, your blade didn't make the cut, and Dave Baker's gonna tell you why.
Jason, both you and your competitors' blades did great in our test, so it came back to design. And your unfinished lines on your blade, that low layer count pattern that just doesn't pop out, and your handle construction, those things added up to send you home.
Well, Jason, honestly, you have a ton to be proud of. But unfortunately, your time in this competition has ended. I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Thank you, everyone. Had a blast.
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
I was not surprised at all when I heard Grady call my name for being eliminated. The best piece actually won, and I'm very happy for Matt. The adventure of being in this competition has been everything I expected it to be. Good luck, Ryan. Good luck, Matt. Knock him dead.
Well, Ryan, Matt, gentlemen, congratulations. The two of you have made it past the first forging round in our Best in Damascus competition, which means that the two of you are going back to battle it out from your home forges for 4 days. Now, Ryan, because you impressed the judges most in the first round with your blade, you get the choice of one of these 3 blades to build against your competitor here. Now, we've got the hook sword, the killage, and finally the panabas. What are you thinking?
I for sure do not want to put a crazy hook into my blade whatsoever. But I also don't want to go basic. Let's go with the killage.
The killage, all right.
The killage traces its origins back to the 15th century Ottoman Empire. This lightweight, sharp, curved blade was specifically designed to be wielded single-handedly, making it ideal for warriors on horseback to deliver deadly slashes upon enemy attackers. This formidable weapon was previously featured on Season 5 of Forged in Fire, where both smiths overcame complications with the length of the blade and the ornate longet. But ultimately, an extreme bend taken during the strength test cost one smith the competition.
Your blade length, measured from tip to where the cutting edge ends in a straight line, needs to be between 28 and 30 inches. Now down to the hilt. You need to have at least 7 inches of cross guard and a forward-facing and rear-facing longet on both sides of that guard. Now, one more parameter, gentlemen, because this is the Best in Damascus competition, you both have to turn in blades that are made from Damascus billets, so impress the judges again with your final builds.
It is absolutely going to be a pain making that much Damascus. Bragging rights are now overrated. Everything I said earlier can go out the window.
Good luck. We will see you in 4 days.
Good luck.
Hey, good luck, man.
We're back home in Thornton, Colorado. I'm ready to get started.
I want to shoot for a braided mosaic Damascus.
Woo! I'm going to stack up a billet of about 28 layers, forge it out, chop it into tiles, and I'm able to create a braided mosaic. It's gonna be a lot of welding, a lot of cleanup, but in the end, it should be worth it, I hope, and it'll be something really cool.
Great to be back home in Blacksburg in the mountains of Southwest Virginia. Today I'm shooting for a 200-layer billet. My goal is to have that billet finished by this evening. I'm forging a coarse ladder pattern in this blade. The hardest part of this build is going to be forging the Damascus and making sure I have a very solid billet. I know this piece is going to be subjected to some pretty extreme testing. All right, well, I'm pretty happy with that.
It's the beginning of day 2. I got this sword forged out to where I want it to be, and I'm ready to go for the heat treat. Alrighty. I gotta nail this heat treat, otherwise if I don't get this blade hard, it's not gonna perform well, and I could be out on this. Oh yeah, we got warp. There's a slight warp to the right, so I know I gotta put it between 2 2x4s and clamp it up. Otherwise, if I can't get that warp out now, it's gonna bite me in the butt later. Woo! That's pretty straight.
So it's the morning of day 3. Goal for today is to get the sword blade hardened. This far into the process, if the blade fails, making another blade in the time remaining is frankly impossible. Yeah, we're good.
Day 4, I want to fit the longes and handle together. It has to be inlaid just so I can get a very tight and nice fit up. With only 4 days to build a killage, I threw a lot into this build, like trying to attempt to do a cool mosaic. So it's time to get the blade into the acid and see this pattern pop. All right, moment of truth. Woo, look at that. Woo, yeah. Man, that pattern pops. I'm so happy. It looks so cool. So now all I need to do is glue this entire thing together. We got a killage. I brought my A game. Can't wait to see what Matt does, and can't wait to hopefully get that 10K. There we go.
Day 4, I need to fit the guard and finalize shaping the handle. I want to have more mass in the handle. I also want to be able to have a bigger, more contoured handle that would be more comfortable to the user. I have the handle rough shaped. There's probably only about 30 minutes left to have a completed handle. Oh. There's some gapping between the handle and the guard. Try to fill these the best I can. I don't think any of the flaws are going to affect its functionality. They're just cosmetic and they're ugly. Got the handle done. That doesn't look half bad. I think overall it came out okay. I'll be looking forward to seeing the sword used. I think that'll be fun.
Well, Ryan, Matt, gentlemen, welcome back to the Forge, guys. So we gave you 4 days of your home forges to put together your very best versions of killage. Before we go into testing, I want to hear about these blades. So, Ryan, how'd it go for you?
It went really well. I did a braided mosaic of 1095, 15, and 20 cladded onto a core of 80 CRV2, Damascus crossguard with bronze longes, a framed handle with box elder burl wood.
That looks absolutely stunning. Matt, tell us about yours.
I forged the blade from 235 layers of 80 CRV2 and 15 and 20. The handle is vintage canvas micarta.
All right, gentlemen, well, both of your blades look absolutely astounding, but we've got to find out if they're strong, if they're sharp, and if they're deadly. To start things off, we got a dynamic kill test with Doug.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our dynamic kill test. Ryan, you're up first. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it.
I built it to look good. Hopefully it can test good. There's a pig sitting right there. Like, I'm hoping to chop that thing right in half.
All right, Ryan, let's talk about your killer sword here. First up, I appreciate the beauty of the Damascus pattern you have there. Also, what I like about this is that it's got that classic killage look where you got parallel lines and then slowly curve up. That's what we like with a historical piece like this. Now your handle construction, everything is smooth, no sharp corners on that. Your edge is sharp. It almost cut through all the way on the pig carcass and the Tommy mats. Overall, your weapon, it will kill.
Awesome.
Matt, your turn. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this.
The first thing that I see is a big pig. When there's a lot of impact, when Doug is taking a full swing at the target, very possible that there'll be a bend.
All right, Matt, let's talk about your killage. It's not quite the historic accurate killage because you don't have those parallel lines. It immediately goes down into a curve. Your handle construction is also not the typical killage look, but your edge is razor sharp. You've got a very nice balance to wield this weapon, and overall, your killage will kill.
Thank you very much.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our dynamic strength and cutting test. I'm going to attempt to cut through these vines and smash these skulls. I'm not gonna go easy. I'm gonna have fun with these. And Ryan, you're up first. You ready to go?
Let's break some skulls.
Let's do it.
That's tough bone. I just don't want my blade to snap in half. Knowing Jay has a reputation of doing that, here we go.
Nice job, Ryan. Your edge is still very, very sharp.
Sweet.
No glinting or anything. Cut beautifully, and overall, tested very well. Good job.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, Matt. It's always more fun for the second guy, right?
I'm ready.
Well, I'm ready too. Let's go. All right, Matt, nice job.
Thank you.
I like the blade, I like the weight. The Damascus came out beautifully. You have the slightest bits of glinting. I mean, it's very minimal. Your handle, a little unorthodox, and right in this area, I wish it had rounded off a little bit more.
Right.
Because it's a little bit sharp right where my thumb sits on this part, but nothing's loose. Nice job.
Thank you very much.
It's close, huh? All right, gentlemen, outstanding work. But the time has come for the judges to decide which one of you has earned the title of Forge and Fire Champion and is going to be getting that check for $10,000. So while they discuss, I'm going to ask that you both please step off the forge floor. All right, guys, we got two great blades, but only one winner. You have a decision to make. Jay, what are you thinking?
Overall fit and finish, I think I'd have to give that to Ryan. Everything flows smoothly. It looks traditional. It's got the correct kick in the blade as opposed to a symmetrical arc in it. When we go over to Matt's blade, it did get a little bit of glinting on the edge, and that handle and guard setup are really on the rougher side.
All right. Doug, what are you thinking?
When it comes to Ryan, all the way through, I mean, it's just very well done. When I look at Matt's blade, that guard and handle isn't the classic killers that I would be expecting.
Okay, fair enough. All right, gentlemen, well, it sounds like we got pros and cons to both these blades, but you guys do have a decision to make. Dave, you made yours?
I have.
And Doug?
Yes, I have.
How about you, Jay?
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys, we'll call them in. Well, gentlemen, you gave us two swords that performed outstanding in our test. But at the end of the day, only one of you can leave here as a Forge and Fire champion, getting a check for $10,000. After discussion, our judges did make a final decision. Today's Forge and Fire champion is Ryan. Congratulations. Matt, you missed out by just a little bit, and Jay's going to tell you why.
Matt, you brought us a great sword and a great performer. You should be very proud of what you did. But you did have a little bit of glinting on the skulls during the strength test. And the handle has got some hot spots, and I could feel them when I'm swinging it. Big thing, though, is the historical accuracy. What you brought us is a little bit off from the traditional killage, and that's why we're sending you home.
I understand.
Well, Matt, you brought us a beautiful blade that did perform extremely well, but unfortunately your time in this competition has ended. I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Congratulations, man. Great job.
Thanks, man.
I agree with the judges completely. Ryan knocked it out of the park. One thing I didn't consider that the judges did bring up was that it was more of a modern interpretation of the collision. Yeah, I agree with that too. The whole thing, it was fun. It was exciting, it was challenging, it was everything I was looking for.
Well, Ryan, congratulations. That makes you a Forge and Fire champion. You'll be receiving a check for $10,000, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Forged in Fire champion? What? Oh man, it feels good. I mean, Matt was an insane competitor. It feels good to make it through all the tests, and 10 grand, hey, that's just a plus to me.